overwhelmed all our thinking the last few weeks. I was thinking the equalisation measures have actually been looking pretty good. It's making the competition look fairly even, but obviously what the outcome of the evenness is, we get close games. Unfortunately, the two games that have been played so far have been well decided and well won. So that the equalisation part of it is having more close games. The tension of the close finish, I'm convinced, is still the thing that makes games memorable. It doesn't matter whether there's incredible exhibitions of the sport. It's a question: do we get the tension at the finish of a close finish?
Tone, what we're going to see today, though, is two teams playing remarkably different to what we saw last year. So Ross Lyon, coach Fremantle, Longmuir has come in and it's a possession-style game. So by foot, and then you've got Essendon who are going to, that Blake Carousel has come from Richmond, a lot of handball forward of the play. So handball versus a kicking team. I think it's easier to shut down Fremantle's game style than it is Essendon Football Clubs, who obviously have a lot of pace through the corridor.
There's a play that really has intrigued me because I still don't believe he's a key forward, yet Fremantle persist in playing Matt Taberner there, where he's got great pace, 6'4".
Tone, can I just interrupt you? Interesting, two teams. So they're about to go to their positions. Essendon are in the little huddle, all crunched up, arms around each other. The Fremantle team are doing the social distancing. They're standing alongside each other, but they're not touching each other yet, Lloydie. Yeah. I thought that was a very different response of how do we actually portray ourselves. Once the siren starts, you know what you're going to be doing. It's going to be a normal. You're going to be touching and bumping and tackling, but before it happened, Essendon were... so that means they'll sing the club song with their arm around each other, Essendon. We're thinking, Tim.
Is that old school John Worsfold versus new school Justin Longmuir?
Might be. Sorry, Tone, to interrupt you. It was just so noticeable,
and again, I still think creatures of habit until it's absolutely drilled in. Yeah. That's the way.
I thought it was drilled in for last night, though. Don't go doing too much sort of hugging and holding each other and arms around each other. That's the thing that's from round the first game to the second game is do less of that.
Tone, the AFLW, an update for Epworth. Middle stages, final quarter. The Kangaroos are in front, 5-4-34. Collingwood 5-1-31. So half a kick in it. It's game on, Tone.
It is indeed. So it's all in readiness for the start of the journeys for 2020, all thanks to the Chemist Warehouse. Bombers and the Dockers. Here's Tim Lane.
Bombers to the Melbourne Remand centre end, Tone, as the Dockers go forward through a soccer kick from Fife. Redmond in the way for Essendon under the pump, but he got a hand pass to Langford, who pokes it wide to the dock side, and Shield takes the mark, dabs it over the top. Merritt receives, and Essendon look to set up for their first offensive move. The kick hung. Fife saw it coming, arrived and made the spoil. Got a little hand pass to McCarthy, well wrapped up in a tackle, got it onto his boot. Essendon's footy though. McGrath kicks in towards half forward, in the way Big Darcy, he's tackled from behind and he's gone. You can hear the chorus around the empty stadium. Ball! Free kick to the Bombers at half forward.
The players might actually have to start doing that themselves to actually remind the umpires.
So the Bombers go forward, and is the ball going to carry? I reckon it has.
Townsend in his first kick on his
he gave it off to Devon Smith, and Smith goals, and so Essendon on the board. They're a goal. Dockers are yet to score. All thanks to Chemist Warehouse. Great savings every day.
It wasn't in about 10 seconds of play. Essendon went inboard. The ball looked like it got dispossessed by Fife. Then the Essendon got it back, and then eventually were able to maintain possession for a couple of handballs into the 50-metre arc. And nice long shot by Devon Smith. He was under pressure, but he's nailed it from 50-metre line.
Yeah, I like their midfield now. Andrew McGrath has developed from a half-back flanker wingman into an inside midfield. He's had a massive pre-season, probably the best of all the Bombers. And Jake Stringer, he's got Nathan Fife around the stoppages, so he won't play there all the time, but they want to match him up against Fife. He's probably the only one capable of doing it at those centre bounces.
Interesting test here of the diminution, if I could use that word, of home ground advantage.
A little less of the big words, Tim.
Okay, Tony. As umpire Fisher comes in and balls it up, and Bellchambers and Darcy contest, neither winning decisively. Free kick to Essendon. Stringer doesn't hang around, he runs, kicks scrubbily into half forward. McDonald tipping Goody there, got it, takes it away from goal, gives to Shield, has a look, pokes it over the top, and Langford takes an easy mark. 35 out, 45-degree angle. Serious chance for a second to the Bombers in just over 2 minutes.
And an injury, Jackie Reid might be able to talk to us shortly. Sean Darcy, who hurt himself in the pre-season, had a lower leg injury, is also sore after that last centre bounce where he smashed legs with Tom Bellchambers.
Get to Jackie after this. Langford comes in, good straight approach. And off the boot, it looks very good. No, he just dragged it left. It's a minor score. Essendon 1-1. Fremantle yet to trouble the scorer. Jackie, how's the atmosphere down there?
The atmosphere is wild at ground level down here. Look, Sean Darcy's just brushed away the doctor. He does look a little bit ginger, though, as he's trying to keep up with Tom Bellchambers right now.
Bewley marked the kick in for the Dockers. To the wing it goes. City side, McGrath in there. Hard picks it up. Tried to find Stringer. The Dockers, the Bombers, I should say, can go forward. Saharakis to the forward pocket. It goes. Oh, what a good mark. Strong mark taken by Townsend of the Bombers. That was good stuff. And a chance, and Lee, your at least early stages after 4 minutes on the Tyre Power clock, your request, desire, urgings for a close, great game. So far, all Bombers, and a chance to make it 13-0.
I might start barracking for Freo because at the moment, yes, the first few minutes have been domination. That's a great mark by Townsend. But great, it was a long high ball. One-on-one contest, just outbodied his opponent.
35 out, slide angle. He's a goal kicker and he delivered. And hang on, get back away from him. Get back away from him. And
it's elbow, it's arm touching, elbow touching. No hands. That's
I've got to say, early days. That's one of the best getting back from him that I think we've seen so far from him this year.
Yes, no, it's different times. Everyone has to adjust to the new world, including the players during the game. I mean, once the game's going, they're playing the normal game. But in the little breaks, that's where you just be a little bit careful about what contact you make.
Lloydie, it's 13-0 the Bombers' way over the Dockers, going 5 minutes on the Tyre Power clock.
We saw it last night where the Dogs just couldn't get their hands on the footy, and the same for Fremantle. 17 disposals to 4 for Husqvarna. And on Jacob Townsend, one of the best set shot for goals in the competition. He's just a beautiful kick. Doesn't need many opportunities, and he'll hurt you. And I think you would have thought his career was over, and yet he gets his opportunity at a third AFL club.
I hope the get around isn't done for all time, Tone. It'll be back. It's too good to be not brought back. As Bellchambers gets the tap straight to his opponent, Darcy, who's tackled, taken the ground. Ball in dispute. Darcy goes back strongly and won it. Gave it to Brayshaw. Quick kick out of the middle, wide. Taverner leads the race. Francis bearing down. Hand pass poor from Taverner. Stolen by Zaharakis. To Sard, to Francis. Spearing ball, but Aish saw it coming. Chopped it off. Took the mark. Very conspicuous in the long sleeves of the all-white jumper. Long ball into half-forward, but in the way. And taking a good mark for the Bombers at half-back is Ridley, who pokes it short to Sard. Still inside the 50 at half-back.
Yeah, doing well. And Shield, who no one's getting near him at the moment. Bouncing one. I don't think that's the idea of staying away from him. As Dylan Shield goes long inside, attacking 50, Bombers into attack. Oh, Langford's picked it up. A handball to Townsend. Unselfishly got it to Stringer. He sort of lost it without being tackled. Logue able to give it to Hughes. So out of defence, the Dockers come. The lead man up on the wing on the Dock side, or maybe a bit short of it. Taberner has it for the Dockers. The Bombers 13. The Dockers yet to score. 7 minutes gone. That is on the Chemist Warehouse scoreboard. Great savings every day. Jackie, we've got some most important breaking news.
We certainly have. Collingwood has confirmed a staff member has tested positive for coronavirus. The staff member was overseas and is in isolation and returned the positive test once returning to Australia. He's recovering at home and being monitored by the Department of Health and Human Services, but they have stressed he has made no contact with the football department.
OK, we'll hear more about that as Essendon work it forward and sock it further towards the 50 by Merritt, who was kicking in danger is the judgment. So a free kick to Aish, high at half-back for Fremantle. We've had a couple of escapes in the last minute or so. Essendon were building an attack about 90 seconds ago and looked at goal for all money, but the Bombers mucked it up. Now Brayshaw's got it, drives Fremantle forward towards the 50. Walters weighted down, uses his pace and falls over at the psychological moment, Tone, as the ball's back in dispute now and held in under a pack, and there will be a ball up 35 out from Fremantle's goal.
Now let's just not go lead a controversy corner so early in the season. But the turf gave way. Walters is as sure-footed as anyone in the league.
I think he tried to turned very sharply and he just didn't grip. I don't know about the giveaway. I wouldn't go with that at this point.
Okay, I'll take that back. Thank you very much, Lee Matthews. Ball in the middle of the ground as the Bombers have it. So now it is Laverty, middle of the ground, sweeping handball. Some Langford has had a nice game. He goes short that time. I speak of Zirk Thatcher, but his kick is short. And in the way there, Darcy to the middle of the ground, 5. The Dockers trail at the moment 13-0. They can go forward this time. The kick from Ryan is good toward half forward. Bombers defence okay at the moment. 5 on the spot, 60 metres out. Handball went to Banfield. The handball that time, Luke Ryan wasn't good. Allows Essendon on the members' wing, whatever members there might be here. And the umpire said it was a free kick to Fife in the middle. He goes, and the Dockers can go cleanly forward.
A slow ball into full forward. Taberner might have edged out his opponent. He did. And it'll be a free kick Essendon's way to Bellchambers, who does take a bit of moving, and Taberner overdid it in his need to try and move him, as the Bombers just chip it around in defence. And Cutler's got it now, a former Lion, and Lee will be able to tell us more about him as we go. He swings it across goal to Zaharakis, who with the left foot, a little lazily, kicks it straight to Hughes. He missed his target, Devon Smith, by about 10 metres. Hughes short to Collier, former Bomber, goes to Lobb, who should mark it. Got a hand to it, couldn't quite get a second bite in there. And now the ball is back under a pack, and there'll be a ball up 25 metres out.
What's your observations about it? It looked like early days in the season. Are the umpires protecting the bloke with the ball more and giving their tackler less? How are you seeing that particular?
Bellchambers, the tap, Cutler, the clearance, almost the middle of the ground. Another great mark taken by Kyle Langford. Now he can go, decides to come, let's go sideways to the wing, dock side. Handball Zaharakis over the top. Dylan Shields started brightly. Drew 2 men. Handball was excellent. Langford again involved. Goes long to the forward pocket at the northern end of the ground. It should be I was going to thought it might have been a push out that time. As Hughes takes the mark, goes short. The kick's all right to Conker, half back. He goes forward to Chera. So Chera's handball was good. Running through to receive Tucker of the Dockers. They're moving it swiftly now this time. Goes to Sturt, the first gamer. Wider forward of the centre. Picked up there by Banfield. He goes to half forward. Ball knocked away. Well done that time by Zirk Thatcher. Little toe poke by Zirk Thatcher's excellent. And now the Dockers, Bombers through Parrish, can go middle of the ground and do so successfully.
Merritt marks it adjacent to the big circle. Full time in the women's semi-final, and the Kangaroos have won by 2 points over Collingwood to make it through to the last 4. It's 5-4-34 the Roos, 5-2-32 the Maggies.
Chemist Warehouse scoreboard, 11 gone first quarter. Scoring stride up, Tim. Essendon 2-1-13, Dockers yet to score.
And on your point, Lee, I think they've been pretty lenient.
A bit more protecting the ball carrier, in other words.
Yeah. But just on this, it's been much better from the Dockers, though. Looked like it was going to be how far the Bombers, but their issue is can they score? Taberner, Lobb, one of them needs to kick 4 goals today to win.
Redmond from midfield drives Essendon into their 50. Only just. There's a free kick going Fremantle's way to be taken about 45 metres up from the Bomber goal front by Cox. Little hand pass to Walters, who pushes wide to the city side now. Bewley takes a mark in the clear. Kicks on to Hughes, who's got it between half-back and wing, and the Dockers getting a bit of overlap going. Crowden receives now on the wing. He pokes a hand pass forward, and Bewley again kicks in towards half-forward, and Banfield, who kicks towards a lead from Taberner, just intercepted by Francis. An important hand in there, brought it down to Redmond, but he then kicks out on the full. It'll be Fremantle's ball about 80 metres from goal, high on the left half-forward flank.
Yeah, between wing and half forward, probably 75 metres out. Crowden has the ball. Man, that is a face that prefers a fight rather than nourishment. As his kick goes into the forward pocket, Fife the target, unlikely in the contest. Banfield picks it up, coming through. Well done, McGrath. His handball straight out of bounds, but under pressure, nothing doing. So, red trip forward for the Dockers. They get a stoppage lead, 25 out. They trail 13 points to 0. 12 minutes gone, first quarter on the type out.
Yeah, they've worked their way back into the game in general play. Essendon had the jump the first few minutes, kicked a couple of goals, but now it's pretty much even Stevens in the game. It's flowing backwards and forwards, still hard to score.
Banfield has got it. He gives to Tucker, who tries to weave through the traffic. Has to give it off to Fife. who gives to Chera from a long way out. He bombs away, but offline. And Fremantle's first score is a minor. It's the Bombers by 2 goals, 2-1-13. The Dockers 1 behind. We've had 12 and a half minutes at Marvel Stadium on 3AW football, brought to you by McDonald's.
Yep, so Hurley to bring it in. Lloydie, you'll get some numbers in a moment, please, as Hurley comes to halfback on the Dock side.
Yeah,
and the ball comes off hands, runs out of bounds. Probably still forward to the centre. Fremantle into attack about 70 around from their goal.
Inside 50s actually for Husqvarna, 7-6 in favour of the Dockers, but Langford 6, Shields 6, Zaharakis 6, and for the Dockers 5 has 6 as well.
Lob the tap, but Essendon win it at ground level. Snelling has it, gets to Parrish, just short of the middle of the ground, wide, and a wonderful kick out wide taken by Laverty. 60 out, goes short, and that's excellent work. And on a sharp and fast lead, it is the Bombers that have it.
Orazio.
So he looks different.
Didn't see much of him last year.
No,
He's got different colour hair than last year, or what?
No, you're thinking of...
Yeah, he did have the white hair.
But I mean, each season, when you first see them, and we saw them a little bit on the Marsh Cup, they look different, a lot of the players. Different hairdos, different colours.
So to break this scoring deadlock of about 12 minutes scoreless, Essendon have been in control. He's gone. That is a magnificent kick. That is a wonderful kick from a bloke who a genuine goal-kicking third forward option. 3-1-19 Essendon. The Dockers are 1 behind. We've gone 14 minutes in the first quarter. All thanks to the Chemist Warehouse. Here's Matthew Lloyd on 3AW football.
Well, I just look at the firepower of Essendon, and there's so many different players who can score goals, whereas even that win that you spoke about in the Marsh Cup, Fremantle and West Coast. Fremantle, I think, had kicked 5 goals up until three-quarter time, and they'd kicked 5 in the last quarter. So up until then, I thought, how are Fremantle going to score again? We saw it with Ross Lyon. Even with this game style, they possess the ball a lot, but no one looks at damaging forward. So now Fyfe's gone to the goal square. They may need something like Fyfe for them to score.
They're going to have to get a lot from their midfielders. Just their starting forward 6 doesn't look like kicking a big score, does it?
Lloydie, Langford having some real time in the middle of the ground. It looks really good.
Yeah, very strong. Yeah, very strong. They were trying Myers last year. They didn't have enough options, but he's started the game really well.
Dockers badly needing a goal. This could get right away from them. 3 goals already, going to take some pegging back. Bombers win it out of the middle. Merritt into half forward. Conker took a good mark, standing his ground with men coming at him from various directions. He goes out wide, and Bewley receives, still at halfback, out near the boundary on the Dock side. Nice threading pass to Tucker. Turns onto his left and kicks badly. It's stolen by the Bombers. Devon Smith receives, runs forward, steers it low, and Laverty marks 45 metres out directly in front.
Got to make the most of your chances, don't they? Fremantle had about 5 minutes there where they dominated the forward half. The ball was stuck really much in their forward third, but they didn't get... Well, they got it behind, didn't they? One shot, so they just didn't get any productivity from those handful of inside 50s that they generate. Essendon, however, when they go forward, they just look like having a shot.
Now for a 4-goal lead. And this gets very serious for Fremantle early on. Laverty kicks from 49, gobbles up the distance, holds its line, and Essendon have a 4th. 4-1-25 to 1 behind at the 16-minute mark on the Chemist Warehouse scoreboard.
Now, I think our eyes tend to be telling us these skimmy-sip shots, set shots from 30 to 40 metres have been taken fairly well the last 3 games.
Yes.
Now, that principle that was spoken of, is there kind of less pressure on the player taking that kick without the crowd noise? It was debated going into the round, and just at the moment, that pressure relief potentially from the crowd noise, but certainly, I don't know, in all the games, players who had set shots seem to be kicking the majority when a lot weren't being missed. What do you think of that theory? Is that valid or not?
We'll see later in the game as long as these players are cherry ripe, fresh. We've played 16 minutes, and there's only 4 minutes 50 to go, so these are the times they should be nailing, although we've seen a lot of sitters missed in past years with the crowd early in games, so it could be a real factor.
24 points is Essendon's lead. 4:49 in the quarter to go. Beautiful afternoon in Melbourne. The tap bell chambers. Walters having a run in the middle of the ground. Got the ball away as the Dockers to half forward. The target was Lobb. Staying down that time. Then good handball back. Found its way back to Lobb. Got it from Crowden. The snap at goal's pretty good. And they're on the board at last as Lobb goals. I've got to say, the crowd's 50-50, which surprises me when the Dockers are in Melbourne.
I thought it was North. I'm going North.
Thank you, Basil. 1-1-7 the Dockers after that lob goal, trailing the Bombers 4-1-20.
The one thing we knew it coming in, but that Walters and Five, probably both of them, have to have really good games for Fremantle to have any chance. I mean, they look so lopsided in terms of, the two absolute class players that can be the difference between competitive or not. And Fife's got a bit of the ball, but just Walters was the one who ended up getting the ball out of the centre bounce.
I was talking to Ross Lyon about Rory Lobb, and he believes he's a better ruckman than forward, but with big Sean Darcy, you can't play him anywhere else. But Rory Lobb marked the ball so well in that first game against Carlton in the Marsh Cup. He's the one that needs to kick 3 or 4.
Saw Roscoe on TV with you the other night, Lloydie. He's taken about 5 or 10 years of age off his life by giving away coaching.
He's gone back.
Even had more hair, I think, the other night. Bit like Wayne Carey. At the ball up. Contest. Aerial ping pong. Brayshaw's got it for the Dockers. Gives to Walters. High left footed. Not a great kick. Lob there. At least makes it a contest. Spilling ball. And Fremantle half a chance here. Taberner left foot snap. Bounces. Sits up in the goal square. Plenty of Bombers there. Hurley gives to Sard. A hand pass over the top to Cutler, who puts one out in front of Merritt near the boundary. Well covered by Bewley. Taken over the line. There'll be a throw in. 55 out from Freo's goal. 4-1 to 1-1. Bombers by 18 points at the 19 minute mark, all on the Chemist Warehouse scoreboard.
Jackie Reid, quickly, can we have that news again that broke about 10 minutes ago?
Yes, Collingwood has confirmed a staff member has tested positive to the coronavirus. Just returned from overseas, has had no contact with the footy department or the players, but he's in isolation.
I think that's the key point. He's outside the footy department, so it probably doesn't matter from the football club point of view. Hopefully he's okay.
Or she.
Well, yeah. Do we know the sex of the person?
So the Dockers move it without any great precision, but they've got it to within 30 metres of goal. Lobb and Bell Chambers. Neat bang over the back from Bell Chambers as Dylan Shield applies a big tackle on Walters. 35 metres out. Margin is 18 points in favour of the Bombers. Type Power clock says 20 minutes gone in the first quarter. Bell Chambers fingertips again, coming through Brayshaw. Handball to Lob under pressure, tackled. McGrath not letting go, and the umpire again, Lordy, calls for a stoppage. This time 40 out there in front of the Fremantle goal.
Yeah, they'd love one more. The Dockers, 3.5 minutes ago. Can't concede here, but let's see if they can get one themselves.
Bell Chambers got the tap. Bewley tried to steal, helped it to Walters, who gets it onto his left boot. And it's well marked for Fremantle, virtually on the goal post by Taberner. He'll have to kick from a very tight angle, but he took the mark in a contest now with the left, just stepping out 1 or 2 steps. He should be able to finish this one off. Once upon a time they were considered very tough shots. He miscued it, but he kicked the goal. Travelled very low, but it went through, and Fremantle have kicked a couple on the trot. They're back within 12 points. Essendon 4-1-25. The Dockers are 2-1-13.
Yeah, they deserve that in terms of general field play, but basically still the hardest part of football is getting the ball to someone who can have a shot at goal in the inside in their forward 50, and Essendon have been able to do that from similar amounts of inside 50. It's 10 to Fremantle, 9 to Essendon, but it's only the last few minutes where Fremantle have been able to generate shots at goal. So they've at least got the margin back a little bit and get their confidence going.
The TV have just been showing Lee some shots of Justin Longmuir. How will he be feeling in the box for the first time ever as a senior coach in a game for Premiership points?
Different. I mean, he's different. I mean, he hasn't been used to. He's been up there obviously as an assistant coach, but when he's the man in charge, and the man in charge in modern footy means the buck stops with you. It's very much a team effort, the coaching of an AFL club these days.
So late in the first quarter, this is 3AW Football Today for the whole season, brought to you by McDonald's. And it is a 12-point lead. Essendon with the first 4. Dockers with the last 2. No clear possession yet. There was a hold that time. The offender was Crowd, and the Bomber free kick, I think, will go to Merritt. It does.
So they've planned to put String in onto Fife, or it's just worked out that way? They're both in the centre square at the same time, and sort of String has taken the Fife's body.
Well, they believe he's one of their best stoppage players.
Right,
so I don't think it's about Fife.
He went wide to the wing to Redmond, who went to Cutler. Slow playing it on the city side wing, going to the northern or former Melbourne Remand Centre end. Now, surely to goodness, that had to be a free given away by Townsend.
I like the body use, Tone. We'll see the replay. I thought he did it quite well.
Let's have a look for Yarra Valley and Croydon Toyota. And your verdict is, as Townsend puts the mouth guard. Well, is that say putting his mouth guard in his sock? When you really...
It's his own sock, though. That's the main
thank you. Thanks for pointing that out, Lee. But Townsend's been good.
And
Cutler's been good.
He doesn't miss, Tone.
Yeah, no, the two new boys with the experience for the Bombers have been all right from 49 metres. He tried to guide it, that's why. And it is Darcy happy to concede the behind. 4-2-26, that's the Bombers. Doubling Fremantle scored, 2-1-13. Now, when I come to think about it, Lee, if you're putting your mouth guard in someone else's sock, then we've really got a problem.
Yeah, that's not so good.
Dockers work it nicely right around the boundary. Eventually to Bewley, who marks high at half-back. He can't see much that he likes. Now he does. He goes long in the Taberner direction. He got 3 against him. No hope of marking it. He's got the footy, though, off hands. But he's maybe used a hand to fend off and placed it high on an opponent. So it'll be a free kick to Shield between halfback and wing, and he dabs a very short pass to Sard, who's lightened off this year. He looks as though he's shed quite a few kilos, unless it's the absence of a crowd around him, which just makes him look different, Tone.
It's possible that, but that's a nice kick, trying to find Stringer at half forward, unable to do so, very close to the boundary line, knocked a couple of metres further forward by Fantasia.
Tone, you mentioned earlier in the game when Walters actually sort of gave away when he tried to... There's a lot of divots on the ground, particularly on this, the western side of the ground, which doesn't get a whole lot of sun, so it must be fairly soft. A lot of divots coming up.
Bombers 65 metres out. Waller for the Bombers. And again, more divots are just coming up there. So the handball somehow got it way to Merritt, to Sard, to Waller. Bombers go to Wardfall. Forward, and that is a fantastic mark. Clean that time as a whistle.
It's Townsend again.
Jacob Townsend yet again. That was great use of the body. And when you come to think about it, Lordy, 187, 84 kilos. And he looks more than 84 kilos. And he looks bigger than 187.
Just unfortunately was behind Lynch, Revolt, and too many good players. That's Richmond, but
Caddy.
Caddy as well. But Logue's got to adjust. He's been pushed under the ball 3 times in this first quarter by Townsend.
What a beauty to land. This will probably be the last kick of the quarter, and the Bombers, it's genuine reward for effort. They've dominated pretty much the first quarter. Townsend has his second, and it's 5-2-32 the Bombers. The Dockers 2-1-13. All thanks to Chemist Warehouse. Great savings every day with Chemist Warehouse. Great to have Lee Matthews again with us on Throw.
Can you ask me how Bailey Banfield's going?
Can you tell us how Bailey Banfield...
Pretty good, actually. He's had 5 disposals, which is the 3rd most for Fremantle. He's the player who said to social isolate, he said to his girlfriend, "I can't see you." That was him, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Bailey Banfield. A lot of girlfriends won't be back for him. But that part was true. That is absolute preparation, I reckon. Getting everything right.
Commitment.
Yep, absolutely.
Did he reveal the other thing? He had 2 weeks with his mates.
I don't know.
Knocking
around. Not about that part of it.
So 7 seconds to go. It is a 19-point margin, and in case there is some really clean play, the Bombers will take that lead into the first quarter break. So Bellchambers goes at it. Ditto is Darcy. Shield, the handball, still in the middle of the ground. Time clock wins out. Good effort from the Bombers. Good effort from the Bombers. 5-2-32 to 2-1-13. First quarter brought to you by Chemist Warehouse. Great savings every day. And Jacob Townsend had a good start to his new career at the Bombers. He has too. And indeed Tom Cutler, a new career as well, has had a good start as well. All good signs for the Bombers as they complete a successful first quarter. 5-2-32 to Fremantle, 2-1-13. And Tim, just before we get to the break, can we go around the grounds for Home Safe Solutions? Enjoy your retirement with Home Safe using the equity in your home, a thriller in the AFLW.
And North Melbourne prevailed, Tone. They clawed back the lead just on three-quarter time and then held it through the last quarter, eventually winning 5-4-34, eliminating Collingwood 5-2-32 by just a couple of points.
Quarter time here. It is the Bombers by 19 points across Australia. All thanks to McDonald's, the Aussie grass-fed beef burger, beautiful 100% new at McDonald's. You were listening to 3AW Football.